Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to sunny Arizona. I'm going to be talking about a few different things today, making sure the audio works. Yes, it looks good. Okay, a couple things to mention. Over the weekend on Sunday, which is typically a slow crypto day, we got a tweet from the president. Actually, we got two of them, and now they're called posts, thanks to Elon. He likes to call them X posts. I'm probably going to just use posts. But I'm going to talk about his two posts, the president's post about the crypto reserve, which I'll call it that rather than Bitcoin reserve, because it's clearly not just going to be Bitcoin we think, we don't know. But I'll talk about the coins mentioned in those two tweets or two posts, how it's likely to play out, the interim steps, and how the president doesn't get really that much say in this at the end of the day. So let me dig into this. But before I do, please like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the notification bell, all that cool stuff. Helps me out, helps get my voice out there, helps the channel. Digging right in. First post mentioned Cardano, Solana, and XRP. Now, a year ago, I think we'd all agree that our president would have no visibility, no understanding, never mentioned any of these companies in a tweet. That's a year ago. But now he's being advised. He has a crypto czar. He's got his kids are involved in Ethereum and meme coins and DeFi. He's starting to see it. But let's take one further step back, okay? And if I take another step back, I might land in the pool. So I got to watch for that. But the coins that he mentioned, the response after he mentioned XRP, Cardano, and Sol, he responded back to himself, quoting that one and say, of course I love Ethereum and Bitcoin too. So now, what has he done? He's mentioned 5 of the top 8 projects. The 3 that he didn't mention are Tether, USDC, the top 2 stable coins. They're not really projects. They're linked to the dollar. And then Binance Coin, BNB, which is obviously not US based. So he's not going to mention that one. So really, he's just saying that the commission that he's launching with Senator Loomis and a few others and his crypto czar, they're going to look at it and they're going to have to use criteria to figure out what coins should be part of a reserve. Now, the purpose of the reserve has not been really defined yet either, but kind of it's a hedge in case these assets go up. Having assets in your reserve, we have an oil reserve, we have other commodities reserve. Some people are questioning why we'd have a Bitcoin reserve if we're that confident in the dollar, but I think we're just hedging our bets, okay? So now, let's get into how they're going to determine that. They need to figure out projects that fit certain criteria. First off, it has to be able to be nationally defended, okay? They already want a they want U.S. projects, they want U.S. companies involved. But they're not going to allow, I think they're going to avoid proof of stake. They were going to want proof of work. The reasons are a couple of reasons. First off, proof of work converts energy or power into coins. That's what Bitcoin does. It takes electricity, the miners run, somebody wins the contest every 10 minutes, and they get to mint the next block and they get rewarded with some Bitcoin. That's how the network works. So the work that the miners all do, the computers that are the miners, they're mining, they're trying to get that math answer first and win that block reward so that the owner of the miner can get paid in Bitcoin and keep running. That's how they work, and that's why there's Bitcoin pools to pool a bunch of resources together. Best analogy would be a lottery pool if you've ever done one of those. Yeah, it improves your chances of winning the lottery, getting that block reward every 10 minutes. It improves your chances, and then it smooths out your revenue because you've got so many different miners running at once. If you're an independent operator, you can only afford a couple of miners, you may not win anything for months, and then your operation may go belly up, but if you join a pool, that's how you smooth that out. You don't win as much, but it's more consistent in what you earn. So that's proof of work, real simple. Bitcoin still does that. Ethereum used to. Ethereum Classic does. So Ethereum Classic could be on the list. By the way, Grayscale has an ETF for Ethereum Classic. People have always wondered why, and it's one of their top 5 holdings. Another one that's a top 5 holding, Litecoin. Now, I used to be known as Litecoin leader. Didn't really work for me on YouTube traction because everybody's searching Bitcoin, not Litecoin, but you live and then you learn. Litecoin just happened to be the first coin I ever bought, just because I looked at it and it was cheaper than Bitcoin. A lot of people would do the same thing. And back in my day, there were only 2 or 3 coins available on Gemini and Coinbase. I think Gemini had Ethereum and Bitcoin, and Litecoin was available in addition on Coinbase. That's it. You had 3 coins to choose from, unless you went to these other exchanges, which you took some learning to how to do. So I believe that the committee is going to wind up on proof of work. Proof of stake, the issue with proof of stake is that, let's just pick Cardano, because I know it's proof of stake. What if China or Russia or somebody else went up and bought 80% of the network? They could. I mean, obviously it'd be hard to do, but they could. They could dominate the network, and all of a sudden they own the dominance on the network and the proof of staking, but it's in our strategic reserve. You see how that conflicted? It's not going to work. You need proof of work. So what are the proof of works that I would throw out there? I'm not going to hit them all. I understand that, but anything that's got Bitcoin or a derivative of Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi Vision is way too small. It's too susceptible to a 51% attack. Not going to include that one. So Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. Those are two. Litecoin, of course, because Litecoin is basically the silver to Bitcoin's digital gold. So it's digital silver. They run almost the same exact way. For those who don't know, simple answer is 4 times as fast, 4 times as many blocks, 4 times as many coins. So Litecoin's often, it's been around for 10 plus years. I think it's 13 years now. So it's got that track record. Another one that's got a good track record, it's also proof of work, Dogecoin. Guess who might be in favor of that? Certain guy that's, running around with a chainsaw. So you got Dogecoin. What other coins? Monero. Now Monero is a privacy coin. That's an interesting one. That's been around for a while too. I don't think it's up to 10 years yet, but it's getting close. But they do proof of work as well. Ethereum Classic I mentioned. There's a couple others. But those are the big ones. So if there's another one I missed that you would mention, mention in the comments, proof of work, I'd be interested to know. But I think that's where we got to go, because this is my last point in this video, because I'm already at 6.5 minutes. I try to keep it under 10. So here we go. What's the steps in between? The strategic reserve of crypto, that's going to be like a side project, kind of like Space Force. When that got launched, no one really understood what it's for, but it gets more understood, more valuable over time. I think that's what this reserve is going to be. We're going to keep the Bitcoin that the U.S. has seized. We're going to add a few other projects to kind of round it out and make sure, and then develop the criteria to be included there. Secondly, we're going to be looking at an interim step away from the monetary system that is crumbling around us in the banking system. Could that be returned to a gold standard? I think that's where we're heading back to some form of sound money. It's too large of a leap for most people, especially in government, elected officials who are not familiar with this newer technology of blockchain and how it all works. They'll adopt the blockchain to start recording transactions and the financial transactions, and the budget and the spending. They'll adopt that much easier because they see the use case for it. They understand what the tool is for. But moving your entire monetary system into blockchain, they're not ready for that. But what they are ready for is a return to how it used to be, which is a return to sound money, which is going back to a gold standard. Then they will go into Fort Knox and audit it and see if it's there or not, and put that on the blockchain, and then they'll start to see how things, don't align by putting gold on a blockchain and gold's not. They'll start to see the problems with gold. But returning to gold as our base form of money is a step in the right direction. Then they'll discover that, there's counterfeiting, it's hard to move, it's hard to secure. Even if you put it on a blockchain, that's a snapshot, and that snapshot can change. So they'll find out all the issues with gold over time, and then as time develops, they'll see, give it a few years. Give it a few years, they'll see the blockchain value will increase, because now we see what everybody's spending. We see where all the budgets are going. And then we'll see the problems with gold and why we created the dollar, because it was more portable. It's easier to use. It's easier to digitize. It's easier to tokenize. Those kinds of things will lead us to the digital gold of Bitcoin, eventually being the absorber of all the different financial instruments and derivatives and all the different spaces out there. But we're not ready to take a $2 trillion asset and put $100 trillion of value on it. That's not ready yet. What we are more ready for, I believe, is to put the monetary system back on a gold standard, maybe have a jubilee, maybe get us away from the debt. That could be what the speech is about tomorrow night, but we'll see. But I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. I've gone 9.5 minutes, kept under 10. I want to hear and see what you have to say. So leave a comment down below. Let's get the dialogue going. And I'm looking forward to seeing the speech, and we'll obviously do an aftermath after that. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.